This is Born Nasty episode 4.
Woo! We made it. Right, we had to postpone the last episode since Elliot here was ill with the man flu, so I think he's recovered.
The man flu?
Yeah, the man flu.
What is that?
I do know, it's just a generic term that people use, mostly women, when men are sick. You know, it's like, they usually say that when we've got like the sniffles, it's like we're dying. So it's like the man flu.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Whereas, yeah, it's
Yeah, I didn't have a voice to speak of, no pun intended, so.
yeah.
But, pretty excited to get back into this.
Yeah.
This is our Axe episode.
Yes. Now, it's not an episode about axes, that's the name of the movie.
Well, yeah.
This is an axe episode. I like hatchets and I like hatchets and wood axes.
I want to talk about tomahawks today. But before we get into all that, let's talk about what we watched this last week or two.
Yeah, like I said, this has been 2 weeks, and I've not actually watched that many movies, to be honest. The first
You're a disgrace.
Yeah, I know. I kept meaning to. Do you know I'm going to watch something? And I went, do you know what I'm there? The first one I watched was $5 for an August Moon, the Mario Bava movie, and oh my god, I like Mario Bava. I like him a lot. This is not one of his best movies. It's based on the 10 Little Indians format. Starts with like this magician, and he's playing around with this woman, and she ends up dead. And then people are like, oh my god, who could have killed her? And then it turns out it was all a magic trick, and then people eventually do end up dying. And it's set on a beautiful island. It's a nice looking movie. It's very 60s like. It's got the 60s feeling to it, because it was released in 1970, so I can only imagine it was filmed in the 60s. It's got a really 60s feeling to it. I watched for some reason I decided to watch the English dub, and it's probably one of the worst dubbed movies I've ever watched. It's surprisingly tame for Mario Bava. There's murders in this, but it's not violent. It's not a violent movie whatsoever. It's quite restrained in the violence.
Was it one of his earlier ones?
Yeah, 1970. And it's when you see somebody stabbed, you'll just see like the aftermath of it. You don't really see, even when there's a couple of gunshots, but it's very. This can pass for like a PG-13 or a PG.
Yeah.
Even though over here it was a 15. But
I'm not the biggest fan of the cutaway kills.
Nah, it depends. It can work and it can't work. But do you know what my biggest problem with it is just boring. It's a really, really boring film. Not to mention it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's one of these movies. It's like, what? I'm sorry. What? Who was that died? What? What's going on here? It's really confusing.
I feel like Giallo films are 50-50 on that. Either they're super smart and intricate, or they don't make a lick of sense.
yeah. This falls into the latter category. I'm not a fan of this. I like Bava and everything, and I had a certain kind of style to it, but I don't know if it's one I'll go back to. I might watch it again for commentaries or whatever, or special features. But it is a tough one to make it through, and it's only like 7 to 8 minutes. It's not like it's a gigantic movie. It's not like it's long. It's just really, really boring. How long is it? 7 to 8 minutes, yeah. But it's just so. I found it really boring.
Well, I know that last episode you mentioned that you tried to watch it.
Yeah.
So you actually got through it then.
I actually succeeded this time.
Okay.
But I just found my attention waning. It's like, when's this movie over? How long's it been on for? 15 minutes. Fuck, I thought this is where I left off the last time. It's a really hard one to get through. But give it a go. You might like it.
Well, I'll definitely check it out at some point, just because I intend to see everything I can.
Yeah.
But let's see. I don't know what the first thing I watched was. I watched quite a bit of stuff. Ritual was really good. I saw a lot of people talking about The Ritual.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I actually went to watch that today, except I had no access to it. I can't watch this movie. It's not on our Netflix as usual, and because our not Netflix is absolutely piss poor. It is shit. Every time I scroll through Netflix, I'm like, it's garbage. It is absolutely pathetic. Our Netflix.
You should use the US extension.
Oh, I tried that, but they started letting on, and now you can't do that anymore. I used to do that. Used to use DNS codes and all the rest of it, but you can't do that anymore.
Poop. Well, it was surprisingly good. Rafe Spall did a great job. I don't want to talk about it too much because it'd give it away, but it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a different take on the Lost in the Woods sort of movie.
Might make for a future add-on podcast.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. You know, it was very distinct characters, and it had depth to it. It wasn't just a throwaway. So it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll try to. I'll try again.
And then on the same lines, not to cut in front of you, but there's another one that a lot of people have been talking about called The Tragedy Girls, which is also, that one's on Hulu. And it's kind of, I don't know. It's like a satire that doesn't have anything to say. Unfortunately, it's like it kind of tries to throw a slasher on his head, but it's just not nearly as good as other movies have already done.
The Tragedy Girls. So that's the thing. Some people think they get smart with satire, and it doesn't always work. You know, they think, "Oh, here we go," and then, you've either got it or you don't.
Yeah, it felt like an old person's view of millennial culture. That's what the movie felt like.
Yeah. I can imagine what that would be like.
It was a little bit frustrating. It had a few cool deaths and stuff, but it wasn't really worth wading through.
Yeah.
What's his name? Kevin Durant. There's an actor who's in it who did a great job, but he didn't have very many scenes.
That's something that happens. But you know what? That person might go on to do. That person might go on to do better things. So.
Well, he's done a lot of great stuff.
So
he just had a small role in this for some reason.
That sucks.
An important part, but a small part. Yeah. Anyway.
What
else? You got anything else?
Yeah, my second one was Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer. Now, this is the second time I've watched this movie. Because the first time I remember watching it, I remember really enjoying it. And I want to see if it's... I still really, really enjoyed this movie. It's just... I do. There's something about it. It's the old school feeling to it. There's no CG in this movie. Everything's all prosthetics and puppets and practical effects, and I love that. It was made in like 2011 or 2010, and it uses all these. It's like an 80s movie. It's got this humour that I really, really like, and it's Robert Englund's in it, and it's got one of the best parts he's had since he left Nightmare on Elm Street. One of his best latter-day parts. It's not just like a glorified cameo. It's actually a proper part he's got. He's fantastic in it. I had a lot of fun watching it. It's a really, really fun movie. It's just the only thing is it's called Jack Brooks Monster Slayer, and I know a lot of people were kind of pissed off that there isn't much Monster Slayer going on, and I think that's because it was going to originally be an origin story, but it doesn't seem like there's been a sequel or anything, which is kind of a shame because I really enjoyed it. It's really funny. The only thing is, it's meant to be set in like some kind of American school. Yeah, I couldn't. The Canadian accents couldn't fool me. You're sorry. I was like, yeah, you're not American. I just did like a sore thumb to me. It's one of these things that maybe 10 years ago I wouldn't have picked up upon, but yeah, I do know.
Probably Canadian.
Yeah, it was definitely Canadian, but it's a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's interesting. You keep watching movies that I've never seen.
Oh, check it out. I think you would love it. If you like things like The Evil Dead and movies like that, I think you're gonna kick out of it.
Okay. In fact, recording this podcast makes it sound like I've not seen a lot, but I've seen a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Like on
feel free to talk about whatever you need to.
On IMDb, I've rated over 2,500 movies, so I know that I've seen at least 2,500.
This week?
Well, no, not this week. This week I watched about 5, but for whatever reason I can't remember what the other ones were at the moment. Oh, I watched I've watched 2 shitty ass trauma movies. I don't know why.
That's just trauma.
I think because I wanted something on in the background.
Yeah.
I watched Attack of the Tromaggot, and yeah, oh no, that's probably the worst trauma movie I've ever watched.
I think I've seen that. I think I saw that in the background once. I remember one time. I sometimes when I'm watching YouTube or that, sometimes I fall asleep watching YouTube, and I think I woke up one day, and yeah, I think there was a trauma movie on. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like a student movie, which is usually the case with a lot of trauma movies.
Yeah, about half of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet and. Yeah, I can take or leave trauma. I can't. So sometimes I'll enjoy, but it's just the humor that gets to me. Sometimes I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it's not a great sense of humor, but but that's kind of what I enjoy about it sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes
it's
you gotta be in the mood for it.
I was gonna say it's like sometimes you're in the mood for like a gourmet burger, and other times you're in the mood for something shitty like McDonald's. You know?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The other one I watched was called Hectic Knife. And
is that true? That sounds trauma-like.
That's also trauma, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all black and white. It's kind of like I read somebody say that it's like a mix between Airplane and Eraserhead, and I think that that's a little generous.
Wow.
It's surreal in a way, but it's also just got that stupid trauma humor all throughout.
Yeah, maybe that's where they got the Razorhead part, just the fact that it was black and white.
Yeah, and it does kind of, there are a lot of like non sequitur moments or really weird scenes that go on for a long time. Like one character introduces herself and she goes, no, wait, and then she does it again in a different accent and then goes, no, wait, hold on, and then does it again in a different accent, and it goes on for like 3 minutes.
That sounds like a Family Guy joke. Family Guy does that. Like it's like, one of those really unfunny Family Guy jokes where it doesn't make sense and it repeats itself. It's like, yeah, we got it the first time.
Yeah, it was like that. So, but I mean, not without its fun, just not really what I was in the mood for.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
not gonna rate it highly. I'll probably end up giving that one a 3 out of 10.
The other thing I watched was it wasn't a movie. It's I watched an episode of The Story of Film, which has to be seen by anyone with an interest in movie making. It's absolutely fantastic because it starts from the very beginning. It starts when I say the beginning. It starts from Edison and Lumiere brothers and
a train comes into the station.
Yeah, and goes through all that. The girls at the factory, and goes through all that. And the first episode deals with
cool. I took a college class that was the history of filmmaking, and it was a lot like that, and I loved it.
Yeah, I would have loved to do something like that. It's something I would love to do. As per usual with the show, we have done a top 5. And this week we have done top 5 horror sequels. Now, just so you know, when you said top 5 horror sequels, did you mean horror sequels that are better than the original, or just 5 good sequels?
So, I didn't necessarily mean better than the original.
Right, well that's good to know then. That's good to know.
Just 5 that you love.
Yeah. Now, I kind of struggled with this list. Last week's list I had like 16 that I struggled to narrow down to 5. This time was the opposite. I actually struggled to make the 5. But I managed it. I managed. And they're in no order.
I gotta figure out where I left my list.
Yeah.
I could think of one off the top of my head.
Well, while you figure out your list, will I mention my first one?
Go for it.
Right, my first one, and this is in no order. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Out of all the sequels, it's probably the best Nightmare on Elm Street sequel. It's the one that first explores the Dream Kids, isn't it? In the asylum. And
it's a fun one.
It's got great kills.
I definitely think that's the best one behind the original, and it's a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, I can understand why. It's got some great. There's some parts I don't like about it. There's a couple bits here and there that kind of annoy me, but overall, I really like it. I like the kills in it. I love the one where he rips the veins out the guy's arm. No one uses him as a puppet. That's a great death. That is really well done. The one that kind of annoys me is the wizard guy. The guy that ends up being a wizard and stuff. Kind of annoys me a lot, but that's a little bit. You know, and it's kind of, it gets to that point where that's where Freddy starts using these one-liners, you know. Want to get high, you know. But it does have one of these great one-liners, which, welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah, that is the most notable one. A lot of people love it, and I was just kind of, I don't know, I kind of groaned at it, but,
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
That's Freddy.
Yeah, I like the way that, you know, it's got an interview with Zsa Zsa Gabor. You know, it's time that you just see Freddy. Yeah.
I was talking about Nightmare the other day, yesterday, and someone was talking about the fact that they were watching part 4, and that they loved it. Does anybody else love it? And I was like, I basically like all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets except for whatever one has comic book Freddy in it.
Yeah, I think that's the 6th one.
She's like, oh, that's 4.
Yeah. No, I think that's the 6th one, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, do you mean the one where he goes inside the comic book, or do you mean the one where he's in the video game?
I mean the one where he's walking around as a comic.
Yeah, I can't remember which one that is. Oh, either way, they're both pretty lame. Yeah, do you know what? There are parts of all the sequels I do kind of like, except for, I think it's the 6th one, which is the one that makes me go, ugh.
Is that the Dream Master?
Dream Master. I think it's Dream Child. Could be Dream Child or Dream Master. I don't know.
Who knows? All right. For my first one, I'll go with the oldest, Bride of Frankenstein.
Ooh, good one. Yeah, that's a very good one.
I actually like Bride of Frankenstein more than Frankenstein.
Yeah, I'd agree there.
I just think it's a better movie overall.
It is a better movie. It's a better movie in nearly every single aspect.
And it's a comedy. Like, it's really funny.
It's got some really funny moments where he's trying to speak and everything, yeah. And do you know what? It's got one of the most moving scenes in any movie with the blind man.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That scene is incredible. That is a fantastic scene.
Yeah, and not only is it one of my favorite sequels, it's one of my top 2 favorite of the Universal monster films.
Yeah, and that's definitely up there. It is a fantastic movie. You can hardly fault it. It's do you know what? I'm one of these people. I don't know if this would go for or against me. I think this is just preference. Well, it is a preference, but I've always preferred James Whale's Frankenstein to Todd Browning's Dracula. I find don't get me wrong. I like Dracula. I think Bela Lugosi's excellent in it, but I find it is obviously very stagey. It's like a stage play, and that was obviously it's from a stage play. You know, it's adapted from the stage play as opposed to Bram Stoker's novel. But
right.
I find it's like watching a play, and nothing against that. But when you watch Frankenstein, it is, you know, that is a movie. It's not stagey. It's a movie.
I agree with you.
And as much as I love Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, it's almost the perfect sequel.
It picks up immediately after Frankenstein ends.
Yeah, and it's got that old woman, that old woman that's in like, she's in like all James Whale's movies. She's in she's in Invisible Man and everything. I think I might have the name wrong. Excuse me if I've got this name wrong. I think it's Una O'Connor, I think her name is, but I could be wrong. And she's just this old little Irish woman, and she's in like so many of those old films. Is this like this old kind of hag? And she's the one that faints and everything. Yeah, she's the one that faints, and yeah, she's really funny in it.
All right, go.
I've not seen that in forever. Number 2. Phantasm 2. Now, I love Phantasm. I think it's an excellent film. It doesn't make a lick of sense, but I love the atmosphere of it. I think it's not the best acted movie in the world or anything, but I think Phantasm 2 takes what I really liked about the first one and makes it better. You know, it's just the atmosphere, the lunacy. I love the characters. It builds on the characters, although they changed the actors. The little kid. What's the little kid's name in it? Oh, I can't remember the little kid's name. It's been forever since I've seen it.
Well, I have a confession. I haven't seen Phantasm 2 since I was 9 years old.
Yeah. I saw it last year. I've seen them all. I've seen them all except for the newest one.
I haven't seen it in 21 years, Mark.
I
could probably rectify that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll probably get watching that sometime soon. And I just think it takes everything that was really good about the first one and makes it better. It answers some questions from a film that, gives so many questions it doesn't answer anything. And it just ups the ante in every way. It's got, it's more violent, it's got more sex in it, it's got, it's just, I don't know, there's something about this movie that's just is great. I do miss the original actor, but he's brought back for parts 3, 4 and 5. But yeah, I love the character Reggie in it. The acting's also a lot better. The acting was kind of, iffy in the first movie, but that kind of adds to I think that kind of adds to it. But,
yeah.
Something about Phantasm 2 is just, I love it. I think it's amazing.
Okay. For my second one, let's do Child's Play 2. Now, a lot of people don't like the Child's Play films. The first two Child's Play films I feel are just incredible, and the second one is it's a different beast than the first one. It's kind of like comparing Alien and Aliens or something like that, where it's almost a different genre, but I like it a little bit better than the original also. That wasn't the intent of this list, but for that one, I also agree.
I've never been the biggest fan of the Child's Play movies. I don't dislike them. I just think they're overrated. Because do you know what? I always say, right, I don't think overrated, right, when I say something's overrated doesn't mean bad. Overrated just means, in my opinion, it's not as good as, like, most people would say it is. And I see in a lot of forums or, IMDb and that, scariest movies ever or scariest things ever, and they've got Chucky, Child's Play. I'm like, seriously? I mean, they're more funny if anything, and I can't find anything at all scary about the Child's Play movies.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid watching Child's Play 1 and 2, like when I was little, I found them very scary because I was little.
Yeah, that's it.
And you kind of are, it's a toy that is evil, and, that's like one of your biggest fears.
Yeah.
As an adult, it's just, the first one is not, it's a horror movie. The second one's more of a horror comedy.
Yeah.
The first one is a straight up horror movie, but it's not scary.
Yeah. See, I was a grown up when I watched it, so and the first one it's got good.
That changes your that definitely changes your perspective.
Oh yeah, of course it would. Yeah. Child's Play does a good thing with it's got some good suspense scenes, and I like the way they play off that. Oh, it could be the little boy. I like the way they kind of do that. It's like they're kind of suspicious about the little boy and that. Was it Andy? I think his name is. And there are parts about the first one. I got to say I prefer the first one to the second one, and I prefer the first two to all the other sequels out there. In my opinion, I just don't find. I mean, this is nothing. I don't find dolls or clowns scary. That's my. It's not that affects the movie, but I don't find clowns or dolls remotely scary. But that's just me.
Fair enough.
I'm hardcore.
All right, go ahead for number 3.
Number 3, right? Exorcist 3.
Okay.
Now this is debatable on whether it's actually a horror movie because it's more of a thriller. It was meant to be a standalone movie. I've got the book there. What's it called? The Legion. The Legion. It was meant to be called Legion, and studio interference caused them to add a tacked on exorcism scene and all that at the end of it. But I think all the way through it, I just love the mystery of it. I love the atmosphere of it. It's got one of the best jump scares in history. I love this. I love this movie. I think
Mark,
George. Yeah.
What does Exorcist 3 have in common with Child's Play 2?
What's his name? Yeah. I forget his name, but I know him. Yeah, he's in Deadwood. He's in Brad Dourif. Yeah, Brad Dourif. Yeah, yeah. He's the killer. He's the Gemini killer. And yeah, it's more of a mystery. It's more of a mystery than anything. And I love the atmosphere in it. I love it. I think it's a great movie. I think it's really underrated. I
You
think,
know, I own the Blu-ray from Scream Factory, and I've yet to watch it.
yeah, I watched it not long ago just to see if it lived up to how I remember it, and see if it didn't hold the Exorcist title. If it was a standalone movie, I think it would have been a little bit more successful.
Mm. Yeah,
And
because Exorcist 2 was a bomb.
yeah, exactly, and it's a bomb for a reason. That might make another list. I might make another top 5. No spoilers.
Good point. Good point.
No spoilers.
All right. Evil Dead 2.
Haven't seen it. So
Wow.
I've got the
Wow.
box set there, but I've only seen the first one and the remake.
Okay. Well, yeah. So you probably know that Evil Dead 2 is.
It's a remake, isn't it? As good as.
Yeah. It's
Or-
basically just a remake of the first one. They, kind of start over on the whole travel, like journey to the woods. Ash has never been there before in Evil Dead 2, so yeah, it's a remake.
Yeah.
And they just really took what worked with the first one, and then kind of cut the humor, or kind of cut the horror a little bit with tons of wacky humor. And it's you would think that would cheapen the first one, but it doesn't at all. It's such a good movie. I know a lot of people that say Evil Dead 2 is the best Evil Dead.
Yeah, I hear that as well.
I would agree. I do think it's a better movie, and it's I love it. I love both, but Evil Dead 2 is what introduced me to the whole series, and it's given me many. It's the one I think back on the most, for sure.
Yeah,
you got the laughing deer on the wall. You've got his hand trying to attack him, and all sorts of fun stuff.
Well, I keep getting told to check it out, so I'm going to have to check that shit out someday.
And then it ties right into, it ends with basically the beginning of Army of Darkness.
Alright. Army of Darkness, that's set in medieval times or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, I believe it was originally meant to be called Medieval Dead.
That would have been a better title.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's just a thing I remember hearing.
I wish that was true. If it isn't true, I wish it was true.
Yeah.
And, anyway, I wish that was the case. All right, so Bride of Frankenstein, Child's Play 2, Evil Dead 2. Those are my 3 so far.
Well, my 3 so far have been Elm Street 3, Phantasm 2, Exorcist 3, and now some people are going to say this isn't a sequel. It is. Silence of the Lambs.
Sequel to Manhunter?
Yeah, sequel to Manhunter.
Yeah.
I love Manhunter. I think it's Michael Mann. I think it's a great movie. People argue whether it's better than Silence of the Lambs. I don't think it's quite as good as the Silence of the Lambs. That's why Silence of the Lambs is on this list. But yeah, it's one of these movies. You think, oh yeah, Silence of the Lambs is a good movie, and you watch it and you go, it's a brilliant movie. I know it's one of these movies. I think people just say they don't like it just to sound cool and different, but it is a really good movie. Anthony Hopkins is excellent in it.
It's almost perfect.
It is. I agree with you there. I think Buffalo Bill is he's fucking terrifying. He is just he makes the movie for me. He makes the movie for me.
Yeah,
he is just was it Ted Devine?
It's weird because you always hear about Hannibal Lecter, but there's this other character in it too that's just as fucked up. But
the
Anthony Hopkins' performance is just knockout.
He's excellent. He's excellent. Yeah. But what kind of pisses me off is kind of like nowadays the only reason people remember it is the whole puts the lotion on the skin scene. But I mean, it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. The atmosphere of this movie, and what kind of I saw an interview. I think it might have been with Quentin Tarantino or something. And he was kind of arguing against when people call movies like this when they deny it's a horror movie, and when they call it a thriller. It's like, it is a thriller in a sense, but it's like, this is a movie about a guy that murders women and wears their skin. How is that not a horror movie?
Thrillers are just a different branch of horror anyway.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
it's under the same umbrella, so people need
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
It's funny because once once there's like maybe Oscar buzz around something or
Listen,
whatever, it becomes not a horror anymore, but either a
yeah,
psychological
yeah,
thriller or
yeah.
an elevated horror film. Like elevated from
Yeah,
what? Like get the fuck out
yeah.
of here.
Because it's got negative connotations to it. It's like
I know,
because
it really does.
it's almost what this whole video nasties list is about. You know, it's like, oh, horror films are bad. You know, horror
I
films
think
are
it's
nasty.
because I think it's because when people are watching a horror film, they're sitting in their seats. You can tell right away, usually, whether they're enjoying it or not, or whether they're reacting or not the way that
Yeah,
you want them to. That and
yeah,
comedy have that in common.
yeah,
Whereas,
yeah. No,
if you're watching a drama, um, you don't know until afterwards and you're talking to somebody what they thought of it.
yeah, yeah,
So I think that a lot of people get defensive because I don't know, they don't like to be scared.
yeah. But do you know what? That's two of them. Is that not like two of the like best human emotions? Is fear and humor.
They're
You know.
they're knee jerk reactions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like one of the two things that everybody has in common. Everybody gets frightened and everybody laughs. But yeah, I say that Silence of the Lambs is a sequel, and the remade Manhunter as a Red Dragon as which is probably why some people don't see Silence of the Lambs as a sequel, because the remade Manhunter as Red Dragon.
Yeah. For me, next one, The Howling 2. Which,
My sister is a weirdo. Do you know what? I was going to put that on the list as a joke. I was going to put that on as a joke, but I don't think you would have believed me.
I love it. It is perfect 80s, hilarious horror. It is one of the most fun movies I think that I own.
That's ridiculous.
No, it is so much fun.
I've not seen it since I've not seen it in a long time. It's Christopher Lee's in it, isn't he?
I think you would enjoy it if you watched it
I
again.
probably would nowadays, yeah.
It is fun. I mean, it's not like... It's fun along the lines of like Demons or something,
Yeah,
but
I love Demons.
And, Howling is obviously very serious. It's got this rape stuff in it.
It's pretty grim, yeah.
Howling 2 is fun. And it's got this chick werewolf, and she rips her fucking shirt open like 13 times in the credits. I mean, it's just hilarious, and I love it to death.
Christopher Lee's in it, isn't he?
Huh?
Is Christopher Lee not in it somewhere?
Or
is that in one of the other sequels?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
No, or is that one of the other sequels, maybe, yeah?
It's probably not one of the other sequels, but I don't know. Howling 3 now is another... That goes on my, like, shitty real rat lists, like my Schlock and Gore type list. Howling 3 is called Rise of the Marsupials or something. and it's like got like werewolf kangaroos in it, and like it is like insane. It's hilarious and bad and insane. It's kind of like
the running out of ideas.
It's kind of like Richard Stanley's idea of Island of Dr. Moreau. It's that kind of a film.
Oh, that is just like an insane movie. You know, the one with Val Kilmer and fucking Marlon Brando. It's like, what? What is this movie?
Yeah, it did not turn out the way it was intended to.
Oh, you can tell what they're trying to do. You can see exactly what they were trying to do, and it became a mess of a movie. It became a mess.
Yeah. Well, have you watched the documentary?
I have not. Is there a documentary on it? Yeah.
It's called Lost Soul, and it follows Richard Stanley, and it talks about what Island of Dr. Moreau, the movie that he was making, was supposed to be, and then it talks about all of the problems it had and shows how it got to be what came out.
Yeah, I might watch that. I'd like to see that.
Oh, it's a really good documentary.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. It's like I've actually got a version of Island of Dr. Moreau, and I think it's actually called Lost Souls. It's got I think it's got Charles Lawton in it. I think.
Hmm.
That's old. It's right from the 40s. That's pretty good. It's quite a good movie.
All right, final one.
Which one do I pick? Day of the Dead.
I was wondering if you were going to count those as sequels or not.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is it a sequel? Is it not? It's part of the same series. So yeah, you can debate. You can debate whether or not it's a sequel. Do I think it's better than Day of the Dead? I don't know. Do I think it's better than Night of the Living Dead? Again, I don't know. I kind of rate them on the same kind of. I enjoy them all on different levels, If I want a fun movie to watch, I'll watch Dawn of the Dead. If I want a more kind of slow-paced one, I'll watch Day of the Dead. If I want, it just depends on the mood you're in, they're not the kind of movies you can watch back to back because they've all got such different tones to them.
They're vastly different, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I like about them, He could have easily made just the same movies over and over again, and he didn't do that. And Day of the Dead, I just love it for, was it Captain Rhodes? Sergeant Rhodes?
Mm-hmm.
He's just brilliant,
It's a good one.
Yeah.
My number one is also probably be in a lot of lists because it's one of my favorite movies ever, and that's Sleepaway Camp 2.
It's the second one, really?
Yes, the second one.
The one that no one likes.
A lot of people like the second one.
Do they?
Yeah. The second one is actually it's funny, but it's unsettling, and it's by the end it's just devastating. Like there are these reveals that happen, and it's just like holy shit. The first one is kind of meh. If it weren't for the ending of the first one, it'd be completely forgettable.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Do you know what? The first one's annoying. I like it for what it is, and like you say, the ending kind of makes it. Do yourself a favour and watch the Cinema Snob's review on it. It's really, really funny. He makes all the jokes. That. Yeah, it is really funny. It's like about half an hour long, but it's just you'll probably say
in the second one, rather than having Felissa Rose, who portrayed Angela growing up, they cast Pamela Springsteen, which is Bruce Springsteen's sister.
That's a good tidbit.
Yeah, and she plays Angela, and they actually filmed Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 in the same
simultaneously.
Summer.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, back to back. I like them both a lot. They each have their own thing going. 2 is, I just think, actually a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
Even beneath. Check it out. Check it out again.
I totally will.
There's a reason I stand behind that. Howling 2 is more silly. Sleepaway Camp 2 definitely has silliness, but it's actually
you enjoy it more, yeah.
Fucking great 80s slasher. It is my favorite American slasher of all.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. And then there's honourable mentions. I won't go too much into them. I've got The Devil's Rejects, which I really like. I'm not the biggest I like Rob Zombie. I like House of 1,000 Corpses better than most people, but
me too.
Devil's Rejects is better than, And I've got Psycho 2. Is it as good as the first Psycho? No. But it does something different, It could have been such a bad movie. It could have been terrible. 22 years later, this could have been abysmal. But they've done something. This focused on Norman. As opposed to... If you watch the original Psycho, Norman Bates is a side character almost,
Yeah.
It is about him, but it's also, you don't really know about him until, towards the end of the movie and that, yeah. And Psycho 2 goes right into him, after he gets out of the asylum and all the rest of it and goes back to his house. And, I just love it. There's something about it I really, really like. It could have been a disaster of a movie, but Psycho 2 works. Much better than the shit.
Recently, there was released, at least over in the States, a Blu-ray collection of Psycho 1 through 4.
Oh, right. Well, Psycho 2 was released by Arrow over here, just at the end of last year.
Honorable mentions for me, I have Ghoulies 2 and Hatchet 2.
Oh, yeah. No, I've not seen Hatchet 2, but Ghoulies is fun.
Ghoulies a lot of fun. Yep.
Yeah, I've not seen Hatchet. I wasn't too fond on. Hatchet. I think the humour really overrided everything. I was like, I had that kind of weird, goofy humour that kind of didn't quite work for me.
Yeah, and 2 definitely kind of cranks it up, but it's less. It's not so much about. I think 1, the humor is a little more goofy.
Yeah.
In 2, the way that they did the humor is much more fitting of the movie and the genre as a whole. Like, it feels more polished.
Yeah. I might check it out sometime. I think I was actually banned over here or cut over here or something. I don't know. Right.
That sucks.
So that's our top 5s. Yeah, it does. So that was our top 5s.
Yep, top 5, new one next week. We'll figure out something.
Yes. Now, we are going to talk about our pick of the day. I will play the trailer. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I'll show you the trailer.
Play the trailer of Lisa for us.
Yes.
And now.
Can you see? Okay, yeah.
Not since the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has the screen delivered terror like A.K.A. In 1971, they rampaged throughout the South. They played a game of William Tell, a killing spree that ended here, where they met Lisa and took what they wanted. A.K.A. The sharp edge of suspense slams hard into fear, and fear becomes terror.
That's more like it, baby.
Pretty Lisa took an axe, gave her captor 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave his partner 41. Axe will slash out and shock you beyond anything before. Axe.
Yay. Yeah, so you can see what they've done there. They've done the whole you can see what they've done there, the whole Lizzie Burden thing.
Yeah.
Why am I still hearing no sound? There we go. Yeah, you can see what they were doing with the whole Lizzie Burden thing, you know. Little Lisa taking an axe, blah blah blah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much the highlights of the movie. They spoiled the whole fucking movie, which was kind of a thing back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, it's a short one.
It's a short, yeah. It's about an hour. It's about an hour 10.
It's like, I think it's 62 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I felt a hell of a lot longer than that. Yeah. So it starts off with a bunch of gangsters, and I don't know what they're doing. They're just terrorizing this guy for what I think is some sort of debt, isn't it?
It seems like it. It feels that way.
It doesn't really go into an explanation. This guy's like across.
It's these 3 gangsters.
Yeah.
And I want to refer to them as
Steele, Lomax, and Bob Ross.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, Manicure, Cigar Face, and Superfly. But yeah, that guy definitely looks like Bob Ross.
He's into the hair, you know. I was like, oh, where's his palette?
I wasn't sure you knew who Bob Ross was, so
I love Bob Ross. Oh, he's amazing. He's like, I love Bob Ross. He's just, oh, that guy's fucking amazing.
He's a treasure.
He really is.
So this guy and his gay lover come home, and they terrorize him. After they kill this guy, they're like, "Whoops, we should go on the run."
Did they throw him out of a window or something?
I think they threw the. I thought they threw someone out the window.
One of them was like a cross-dresser. And they make
I
fun
think
of
they
that a little
threw.
bit.
I think they threw his friend out the window.
Yeah, and then they stuff a cigar down the guy's throat before beating the shit out of him.
Now, see, I watched it. I watched it 2 weeks ago now because I was sick, so a little
Yeah,
bit of it is foggy, but
yeah,
for the most part, I remember it.
yeah. They beat the shit out of him a little bit. Well, I say a
So they're
little
like,
bit. The
well,
guy
we should get
dies.
on the move.
Sorry.
Oh, so they were like, yeah, we should get going. We should get on the move here.
Yeah. So while they're driving away, instead of going into hiding after this, they decide to they decide to go to this little shop, this little convenience store.
Yeah,
Well,
they go into town and like torment some poor
yeah. Well,
clerk.
Bob Ross lookalike has like second thoughts, and he's the remorseful. Oh, I'm not part of this gang kind of thing. Um, yeah, so they go to this little shop, and for some reason they decide to torment this poor shop assistant who's done nothing wrong apart from sell mouldy fruit.
Yep. And they're like, take off your clothes, and they tried to play William Tell on her head
Yeah,
with
I,
fucking gun.
I like that I was actually Heinz ketchup. When they go to shoot her, they put the apple
Yep.
on her head, and they take shots, and they actually instead of shooting the apple,
Cut
they shoot-
over.
yeah, I think there was they didn't use shitty own brand ketchup. They actually got the royal. I'm assuming they got the royalties. I'm assuming they got the permission to use Heinz. And I don't think they got Heinz in America. So there
They
we go.
they probably didn't have permission. I mean, I know that it was just a few college dudes that made this movie
Yeah,
together for
yeah,
I think it was like $20,000 or something.
yeah. This is really low budget. So
Um,
probably say, look, if we put this here, nobody will notice.
oh,
The profits we make on this movie are more than make up for it.
so then between this, we're kind of giving glimpses of this girl who's taking care of her grandfather
Yeah, who's
on a
like,
farm,
yeah, kind of farm, yeah.
a farmhouse.
Did Clark Kent live on a farm? I suppose, I don't know, it's like a farm, yeah, some sort of farmhouse kind of thing. And yeah, he's like blind and deaf, and he's a vegetable. He's just in a vegetative state, isn't he? He's just he can't do anything except eat soup.
Right.
Unless in a horse's
So
soup.
and so after this absurd convenience store moment, they wander. They're looking for a place to hide, and they see this house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, let's go there. That looks, nice.
Yeah. This looks isolated. So this girl, she is how old would you say she was? 13? 12, 13?
What? No, I was thinking 17 or 18.
Yeah, I was thinking way younger than that. I thought maybe she was like 13, 14. Anyway,
Definitely older than that.
you think so? Anyway, she's quite withdrawn herself, isn't she? They try to.
She seemed very detached from everything.
Yeah. Because she just.
And I don't know if that was accidental or intentional. It's hard to say.
It's hard to tell. I really don't know. She's either a really bad actress or this is what she was told to do. It could be either. It could be anything. So, by the time these three guys get to the house, they ask the girl to kind of if they can lodge. She says, does she say no? I think she says no because she's
basically like no, and then they're like, we're not asking.
Yeah, we're fucking telling you.
And immediately they're like, make us dinner.
Yeah, or we'll go William Tell on your ass. We'll go William Tell on your head.
Yeah, no shit. And then I just like how they're immediately like, make us a meal. Like, jeez. All right.
With the chicken, she's just beheaded.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I called the one guy, the leader of the three. I call him Manicure because he's always fucking with his nails.
Has he never noticed that?
Yeah, like they all had their thing. Like Cigar Face.
Yeah.
Lomax, he's always messing with his cigar.
Yeah,
He's always fucking around, like just trying to be cruel. And then Manicure is clearly just this evil bastard, but he's always cleaning his nails.
I never noticed that. And Bob Ross
and then
just kind of stares and ponders.
Well, Bob Ross, he's played by the director,
Yeah, Frederick R. Friedel, or Friedel, however you want to pronounce
Friedel, or whatever
it.
the
Yeah,
fuck.
whatever. Who cares?
So they're spending time in this house, and it gets to the point. Well, I can't remember if anything really happens between that and then that night when
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the
Cigar
police
Face
arrive.
is.
The police arrive.
Oh,
And
right.
she gets told to get rid of them or something's going to happen to your granddad. He says waving a gun about. He waves the gun at the granddad's kind of temple. Says, something bad's going to happen to your granddad if you don't get rid of the popo. So she goes to the police, and you just see them looking out the window while she tells the police to fuck off. Yeah, and then I think that's it. She cares for her granddad. She
It was
feeds
very,
him,
very
washes him.
trusting of them to have her do that.
I know, Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah. Because she's not gonna say, you know what? Help.
All right.
Come back in 5 hours.
So the Lomax guy
Cigar
is
face.
Cigar Face. He's up in he's in his bed, restless, and he's like, you know what?
I need some
I want to get my dick wet.
I need some action.
Yeah.
Without permission. So yeah, he goes to rape Lisa. And
I think he gets a bit of raping in.
he gets a bit of there, yeah. I don't know how far he gets, but she doesn't take too kindly to this, obviously. And she has a razor hidden under her bed or under her pillow. And
Oh, you know what? We should backtrack a bit because there's a moment before bed where she goes to the bathroom and she's thinking about killing herself with this straight razor.
oh yeah, right. So yeah, she goes to the bathroom, and she contemplates killing herself with this straight razor, like this cutthroat razor.
Yeah, and then Bob Ross comes and knocks, and he's like, "Are you okay? I'm sorry about my friends."
Yeah, they're assholes, but I'm completely different. I'll pick you some trees.
But it was enough. Yeah. Happy little friend. But it was enough.
Yeah.
It was enough for her to put it away, and I think she stores it in her boot. I don't remember exactly, but she takes it with her just for safekeeping.
Yeah.
And then nighttime comes, and Cigar Face decides he wants to get his dick wet.
Yeah.
Tossing and turning in his sleep, so he gets up and he goes to Lisa's room.
Yeah, so he decides to rape her, and
he gets a bit of it done, and then
so? Yeah, I don't know if he attempts or if he. Anyway, that's not the point. Yeah,
it seemed pretty clear that he got it done to a degree.
Yeah.
Before she murders his ass.
Yeah, before she slashes the back of his neck, which kills him in a pool of blood.
Yes.
So
what do we do with the body?
She puts it in the bath.
Puts it in the bath
No, she puts it in the trunk, doesn't she?
She ends up putting it in the trunk.
Yeah, she puts it in the trunk, doesn't she? Like a big chest.
But how to move such a thing?
Yeah.
It's too heavy now.
Yeah.
I know. I'll have Bob Ross help me.
So yeah.
And so he does. He carries it up to the attic.
Oblivious to the trail of blood that's leaving behind.
Yeah, but then, he does end up realizing.
Yeah, I notices.
And he's like, what happened here? And she's like, it was your other friend. It was Manicure.
It was Manicure face. It was Manicure hand.
And he's like, oh, that bastard, why I oughta.
Yeah. Why I oughta. He just erased his fist.
This movie, from the convenience store point all the way up until this point, it reminds me a lot of another video nasty that I've already seen, so I won't get into it too much, but it does remind me a bit of I Drink Your Blood.
That's not video nasty.
It's not?
No.
Okay, perfect then.
Unless it's got an alternative title, it's not a video nasty, but you did mention it on our top 5.
Oh, did I? Okay,
yeah.
So it doesn't matter anyway. For some reason I thought it was. But anyway, It definitely would fit. But it's much more gruesome than any of these movies we've watched so far.
Well,
but I Drink Your Blood.
All right, yeah, I was going to say.
It reminds me a lot of that. Have you seen it?
I've not seen that. I'll check it out though. I'll probably find it.
Yeah.
It seems like the kind of movie that would be on YouTube.
Yeah, it's these guys and they go and they just
Drink blood.
start terrorizing a local town. They're like these drug crazed hippies is what they call them, but
Right.
it's basically just a bunch of assholes, and they terrorize a small farm town. And it feels a lot like that.
Okay, I'll check it out.
So with the one dead.
Yeah, which she dismembers with an axe.
Oh
Off
yeah.
the title. Oh, wait. Do we backtrack? Did she? She chops him up first in the bath and then puts him in the trunk.
Yeah.
Did she? Or does she put him in the trunk then chop him up?
I don't remember. It probably chopped him in the bath.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Minor details, Mark. Minor details.
It's not important to the plot. Stuff happens.
So-
He eventually gets chopped up.
So, what happens next?
Bob Ross says, "What have you done?" And then Manicure gets starts wondering where he's went. He says, "Oh, he's went on a run." She's gone on a run, or he's ran away.
Well, and he also
Wait.
wants to bang her.
Yeah. Wait, when does Bob Ross fall into the forest?
He talks to Lisa and says, "I
Yeah,
want
when
to
does
have
that
a
happen?
private conversation.
Yeah.
Let's
Does
go
it-
to a secluded place."
Yeah, no way.
And they go out into the woods.
Yeah. So when does that? Does that happen before he? But does that happen before Manicure has these thoughts?
It was 2 weeks ago. I don't remember.
No, anyway, yeah, right. She goes running off into the forest. Bob Ross follows her, saying, "I'm a nice guy. What happened? You know, I want to be your friend and all the rest of it. I don't want to rape you because I'm not like the rest of them." And she tries to kill him, and then she tries to kill him and goes, "Oh, that's a good idea. We'll keep that for later."
Yeah, he's so naive,
Yeah.
which ends up saving him.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah, it's a stupid movie. And then when she goes back to the house, Mr. Manicure starts trying to have his way with her. And all the way you hear the granddad's TV, like the horse racing. I think it's horse. It sounded like horse racing to me. I didn't think that was a thing in America. I thought it was just a British thing. But you hear like the horse racing. Yeah, as he's trying to rape her, she grabs an axe and kills him and stuffs him up the fireplace
Yep.
with her gigantic Hulk strength.
How she got him up there, I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I think the granddad must have helped. you know the quadriplegic, deaf, blind grandfather.
And then Bob Ross ends up running outside. Why does he do this?
Do you know what? One of my favourite scenes is
Oh,
when
he
finds
sees
out-
the body drop, right?
Yeah, the body falls out the chimney and he just stands there going, no. No, he must have done this about 20 times. I showed my brother this scene and he was in stitches. He couldn't believe how funny it was. No.
And then so he runs out the door, and who's there?
The boys.
The police shoot him, and he dies.
And they
So they're all
weren't singing
dead.
any songs. There wasn't any message in a bottle for this guy.
Nope. He dies, and then Lisa feeds her grandpa soup, which is suggested
eats
to
the
be
soup.
the guy's blood.
Yeah, Bob Ross eats some soup before the chimney falls. Before
What?
the guy falls out the chimney, Bob Ross is eating the soup.
Was he?
Yeah, and that's when he
Oh.
notices the body fall. He goes, no, runs out. I gotta say, I'm a little bit pissed off that after Bob Ross gets shot and he falls and it freeze frames. I wish the credits had rolled on the freeze frame.
Oh.
Yeah, that would have been so brilliant. Yes. But no, the body falls and go, yep, that's definitely one of them. I mean, like one of the criminals that they've been looking for the whole movie. Yep, that's
Yeah.
definitely one of them.
Well,
now we've described this movie pretty quickly. It's a 1 hour 8, but it must seem about 3 hours. It moves at a snail's pace.
see, I didn't feel that way.
Did you not? I did. It took me about 3 hours to watch it.
I felt like it was like half an hour long.
No, I think it felt like forever. You know, I've got a love-hate for it. I don't know. It's more on the dislike side. The acting is, apart from maybe Mr. Manicure, the acting's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know that shop assistant, when she finds out that when he says that the fruit and veg is off, she goes, "We're very sorry." I was like, yeah, there's no emotion in her voice whatsoever. But
No.
it was a bit part.
I think that to its credit, I think that makes it work almost in a way, because it makes it more. It makes it very bleak.
Yeah.
It helps in that bleakness.
Well, yeah, it's kind of bleak. It's got no humour almost. No intentional
Now, you know,
humour. No intentional humour.
A lot of scenes in this movie were left on the cutting room floor because they wanted to make it short enough for the drive-in.
Oh yeah, that happened a lot in those days.
Yeah,
that happened an awful lot. Yeah.
So a lot of the kind of choppiness of it is due to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But imagine how slow it would have been if there was extra scenes in it. Yeah, it's one of these movies that's easy to explain because it's so short. Not much happens in it. Just everything we've explained. It's pretty disjointed, isn't it? The acting's pretty bad. The music. Oh my god, if you want to call it music, the music is, ow. It almost hurt my brain.
Oh my god, I loved the music.
Ow.
I loved it. It was like these weird jazz drums.
Oh, it was just weird. Just the over the intro credits and there's one point where I did like the
that
music.
Was fantastic. It had such style.
Style of the 70s. I love the 70s, but I just thought the music just grated on my brain.
Oh man, I loved it.
Some scenes drag on way too long. Like the scene, the scenes that feeds the old man go on way too long. Way too long. It's drawn out.
I do recall that, yeah.
Yeah, there's some scenes that are really drawn out. Yeah, the only kind of music I like is where after the first murder, she goes back to her bed. It's got this quite cool little piano thing. I like the music there. I don't know why was Bob Ross one of the criminals? I think it would have made more sense if like he was maybe Lisa's brother or something, or making him.
Well, that's the thing, is that because of all the edits, like a lot of the characterization was left out because they figured what do people want at the drive-in? I don't know, blood, guts.
But this isn't any of that. The only thing that the body stuck in it is the headless chicken, which you see more often than any other characters almost.
Yeah, but they tried to just put in the meat and not the any of the backstory and stuff. Just the things that were gonna grab the most.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think that we're left going, well, why is this guy even a criminal?
Yeah, but there's probably explaining the backstory and stuff. Yeah. This headless chicken, I think, has more screen time than anybody else in the movie. Because it just keeps on cutting back to this headless chicken. In her hand, you just see the headless chicken. You see the chicken, then you see it with its head off. You don't actually see it being decapitated, thankfully. But I'm pretty sure this was a real chicken. That's probably the exact same chicken that they're eating, which is what the implication is. But and that probably was the actual chicken. Every time she's wandering about, it just keeps on cutting to this headless chicken. Keeps on cutting to the sink. Keeps on cutting to it. I was like, wow, this is one famous chicken. But yeah, I was pissed off there were no credits over the freeze frame at the end. It's like, yeah, this guy Frederick Friedel, he only made another few movies. He made one.
Kidnap Co-ed.
Yeah, date with a kidnapper, A.K.A. Kidnap Code.
Co-ed.
Co-ed. Is that how you say
Co-ed.
that? All
Yep.
right. I don't know that word. That was from 1976. You done
A
one
co
called
a
Mine.
co a co-ed is like someone that you go to school with in college. It's like
Yeah, alright.
a co-ed would be like, for us it would be like the girl students.
Oh, right. I don't think that's a term that's used here. That'd just be female student. And yeah, I made one in 2000 called My Next Funeral. I've never heard of either of them. Yeah, it's another title for it was Virgin Slaughter. I don't know if that has anything to do with maybe the Virgin Spring, which was the fuck, what's his name, the Swedish guy, Ingmar Bergman
Ingmar
movie.
Bergman.
Yeah, which it has kind of has in common with, it's not set in those times, but it's got a rape, it's got vengeance, which is also what Last House on the Left was based on.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I
And
didn't
that's
know
it.
that.
Yeah. And do you have anything to fill in with the movie or not? Do you have
Any what?
anything you'd like to add about the movie?
Oh, I mean, I dug this movie a lot.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I don't know what it was, but it had me.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite one that we watched so far.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why I like doing this podcast, because I have the opposite opinion. This is my least favourite of the ones we've done. I found it way too slow. It's like, I did find it funny for the wrong reasons, as with most of these movies we've done so far. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make a lick of sense. Instead, after like, at the start of the movie, when they're getting this guy for, just say it was a debt. Just say these guys are loan sharks, and this guy's not paid his debt and they kill him. Why do they decide to hit up a fucking convenience store? Why don't they just run for it? Why don't they go and hide in? That's like, you see these robbery movies, like they rob the place, they'll go and hide in. Reservoir Dogs, they rob the place, they go into the warehouse, away from the police. Instead, they might as well wave their hands in front of the police, say, "Here we are, people. Here we are. Come and get us."
Oh, because that's more fun.
Yeah, I know. We would have a movie that way. But
I mean, like I said, it was made by a bunch of college kids
yeah,
for fun.
yeah. The thing is, I've got here like I would be. You've got the MPAA, we've got the BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification, and in 1999, this movie was rated an 18 for strong bloody violence. Now, I don't think the violence is strong, and it's hardly bloody. There's a rape scene in it. Maybe that's the only reason I can think it was maybe banned and put on this list was maybe, like I say, there's a couple of shots off the headless chicken. There's the guy that gets the cigar shoved down his throat. There's the William Tell assault, where they get the girl to take her clothes off to shoot an apple off her head.
Yeah.
And the attempted rape scenes. But, I mean, that sounds a lot, but it's really not.
Yeah.
It's really, really not. It's not as sleazy as it sounds on paper.
No, not really.
It's pretty restrained. But I find it for the most part, I do find it kind of boring. I feel like I didn't hate it as much as I did the first time I watched it. It's grown on me a little bit, but this is probably the worst movie we've done so far. Yeah. That's why I like this. That's why I like doing this podcast, because, we're going to have different opinions, and that's, I like that. I like the fact that it's not, we all love the same movies. That's one thing that kind of annoys me nowadays, is that, as soon as you say you don't like a certain movie, people get pissed off and say, no, but if everybody likes the same movies, then,
Yeah, I try not to hang out with people like that anymore.
Yeah, I know. I think it's, I'm glad that you see it in a way that I don't,
And I'm sure, okay, just for reference for this conversation,
Yeah.
my order of favorite to least favorite so far that we've done
Mm-hmm.
would be Axe,
Mm-hmm.
Contamination,
Mm-hmm.
Killer Nun,
Mm-hmm.
Nightmares and a Damaged Brain.
Well, mine would be that, except I would have contamination. I'd have contamination, killer nun, nightmares and a damaged brain, then Axe.
Okay, so
I kind of rate Axe and Nightmare on a Damaged Brain on the same level, almost. It's just so. Will we give it a rating?
what's that?
Will we give it a rating?
Yeah, let's rate it.
That's what we usually do. Right, I'm going to rate this 5 out of 10. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. If I was to rate this maybe 2 years ago, I would have given it like a 3.5 out of 10. It's grown on me slightly. 5 out of 10. It's average. It's.
I give it a 9.
Fuck off! You liar! You don't mean that. You're just saying that.
No, I mean it.
You don't mean that. You're just saying that because I say shit.
I'm not. I'm not. I mean it.
Oh, brilliant, man.
I like this movie.
Brilliant.
To me had charm. I don't know what it was about it. It just got me in that way. It was charming to me, and it's not a movie that could be made on purpose.
Oh no, totally not.
And that's something that I really like about it.
Yeah.
And just like I would rewatch it again easy. Like I would do it right now, you know.
I was actually thinking of watching it again for the podcast just to get it fresh in my mind, but I decided nah. I couldn't find the patience in me to do that. But different strokes are different folks.
That's right.
I'm glad you see it in a way that I don't. I think that's what makes for a good debate. Yeah. So that was Axe.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what next week's movie is?
Yes. Drum roll.
And I hope you have access to it. Bloody Moon.
Bloody Moon. Ooh, Jess Franco. Have you seen it?
I have not. I own it though.
Do you? Bastard. I'll see if I can find it. It's got to be there somewhere.
I'm hoping you can find it because I've been excited to watch this one for a while.
Yeah, so have I. It's one of these ones I've always wanted to see but haven't seen yet. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about this. Jess Franco's got quite the reputation, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
God, how many movies has Jess Franco done?
No one knows. I think if you looked on his IMDb page, I think even that would be inaccurate. Yeah,
probably.
I don't think anyone knows.
Over 100.
Oh, over 200.
Wow.
I think maybe closing on 3.
Yeah, I mean, he would do like 5 a year.
He's done seriously hundreds of movies. He's one of the most prolific film directors in the past 50 years. He really is.
I've probably only seen 3 or 4 of his movies.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've only seen a handful. Oh, I wanted to mention, just before the podcast ends and that, I've started a Patreon page. Hopefully listeners of this podcast, I'll give details in the link below. I've not got it quite set up yet. We're trying to think of rewards and stuff, but if you like the podcast, give a little donation. It'll help us get access to these movies, and maybe I can help me invest in a region-free Blu-ray player to help watch them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hopefully it'll just help make everything better. So if people like this and want it,
Yeah. I'll help improve the quality of these videos and that. So once I get everything sorted and that, I'll be great. But like I say, we're not begging or anything. It's just a little contribution, and I'll be much appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. What else? You got anything else?
No, yeah.
That about it?
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, like our Facebook page, Born Nasty Podcast, and yeah, it's also on SoundCloud, and you just search Born Nasty Podcasts, and it's also on YouTube as usual. And we shall see you very soon, hopefully next Tuesday.
And hopefully I'm kind of brainstorming a new segment, so maybe we'll do that too.
That'll be excellent.
Right on. All right, see you later, Mark.
Right, see you.